and then play their role in life. When they work a few years, they realize that university is an, it's inescapable. You have to go on after that. When they realize that, when they become mature, that I have to go on.
มีอีน่ะมีสำหรับย้ำเลงมีอีน่ะให้กันจอบเพลียมย้ำบ้านเพลียมมีอีน่ะมีสำหรับย้ำเลงชะงัน
Founder, Chairman and CEO of MJQTV Education, who will present on the importance and cultivation of lifelong learning.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you, Paul, for having me here today. A very good morning to all the IBC boards and members, and welcome to all the guests today. And I know that you are very happy and proud to be here since you are graduating your internship program. It is short but meaningful. I can see from the video and also from what Catherine have been describing. Quite unique. I have been through that before many times in my life. And but it's not as lucky as you guys. You have a hand-on experience and quite challenging and demanding. As you know, in Cambodia, everything is on a fast pace, and it's competitive, cutthroat. I can say that, and I feel sometimes very sorry for the young kid in Phnom Penh. It's an industrial city in a way, but it is not. But the demand are that way, and the expectations are that way, and the workload are beyond expectation, and everything about here in Phnom Penh quite exhausting. And you guys seem to be on the run, stampeding on each other all the time, looking for the best and for the best and the best, and so on. And sometimes I feel that you never have time to relax. And being the youth of today in Cambodia, it's quite challenging. And I know that there's so much to consume, to absorb, and also to learn on the way. No matter how much you learn, you can never learn enough, because the school that you are learning in the secondary schools and tertiary school in university not good enough to prepare you for real life experience. So you can see that every year the graduation rate is almost like 40% off, when the government and NGO trying so hard to make sure that student dropout rate are less than expected. But what's the purpose of having that when at the end of the 15 years of study, they just chop you off almost 40% every year for the past 10 years. In other countries, they try to give you key, that is your diploma, high school, so that you can go on to complete whatever school you want to do, at least some kind of work, basic pay. Even in simple job, you can get the minimum salary. But when you have a stamp on your forehead as a dumb, a failure, a stupid, and finished even high school, you know to be nothing but it's a simple guy who eventually migrate to either Korea, Japan, or Thailand, most likely in Thailand and Korea. Life is so hard for you guys, for many of your friends, family members. But why do that? When there's opportunity, so much opportunity for Cambodian youth, to do. Manual labor, simple manual labor still need high school diploma. And once they work, they realize that sometimes life is not, easy to get that much pay to make a living. So they might want to change their mind when they mature enough to go on and then continue vocational school, TVET, trade tech, or even a university with that high school diploma. But when you cut them off with nothing after 15 years, that's so painful, so painful. I don't think any country would do that. They always give you key, to fulfill that lifelong requirement when you finish your youthfulness at the age of 18. But in Cambodia, sometimes that is not expected of our responsibility. we don't invest too much in juice, yet we expect a lot from juice. And that's what they call bamboo to be. And what kind of bamboo the components, intellectual will be like when you chop off so many bamboo and then you don't even give them a chance to grow to full strength. So with that, you have the small percentage of graduate compete among yourself to be the best of the best. And yet, there's not enough work. And yet, compete for the work that should pay enough for a living. Everything is contradictory. So with these messages, I'm not saying anything about the government education system. I'm just saying that if someone would hear about this and change the system, give all high school graduates a chance to graduate and then play their role in life. When they work a few years, they realize that university is inescapable. You have to go on after that. When they realize that, when they become mature, that I have to go on. And that's what in America, sometimes in other developed countries, they even have GED, general education program, for you to fulfill that high school diploma for whatever way, pathway, just like their pathway to employment, their pathway to university, they will give that. So right now, when today they asked me to talk about lifelong learning, only some of you can do that. What happened to the 40% that get chopped off every year, so painful? They get drunk, they get going crazy, drug addicts, and then run away and destroy family. But they all get so destructive in life after, give a stamp on their forehead that you are dumb, stupid, and you are not finished high school. That's so painful to realize that that's Cambodian. That's how Cambodian use label, and that does not look good on the Cambodian intellectual level. We need more labor. We need more people to compete, to challenge, to go on to a higher level of education, so that the university compete to get the best student out of the best student. So therefore, universities compete among themselves. So therefore, you have a real university that could be recognized worldwide, that have research, that have laboratory, they have some kind of dedicated faculty member and so on. But right now you have a run-around adjunct professor that teach here and there an hour or so and produce nothing and teach very simple thing for the sake of making a living. When will you have a real university, a real news research, a real professor who can write books for you to read by Cambodian professor with real PhD? Well, I'm not saying that the PhD is not real, but you know what real PhD means. You work your life sometimes for 15 years. You cannot even finish your dissertation. That's what called real PhD. You cannot just copy paste, you cannot just buy, you cannot just hire someone to write it. Saying that not everyone hire someone to write it, but I know that some people do that for the sake of having a PhD labeled by the name doctor. But that does not mean anything when you have a big population that do not produce that kind of result. So therefore, for me, I feel so sad to see that you guys have to make do what Cambodia need for the next generation, and that's a very small number. So please drum up and call for reform sometime, for better education.
มีอีน่ะมีสำหรับย้ำเลงมีอีน่ะให้กระจอบเพลียมย้ำบ้านเพลียมมีอีน่ะมีสำหรับย้ำเลงฉะนั้น